Have you ever wanted to know what would happen if you took a world-class pot still bourbon and finished it in world-class rum barrels?
I've always wanted to know that.
Well, you're in luck, because we're about to review Ironroot Republic's Harbinger finished in plantation rum barrels, so stick around. So, Aaron, this episode is brought to you by Goody Goody Liquor. Goody Goody is your Texas-based neighborhood liquor store that has all your beverage needs covered. They've got your everyday favorite whiskey, single barrels, and the occasional allocated item, plus thousands more items for you to discover. They have an enormous selection of spirits outside of bourbon. They have wine from all over the world at all price points, beer for every palate, and ingredients for every cocktail. So pick up your favorites or discover some new things through their knowledgeable staff. Goody Goody has many convenient locations, and their size allows them to pass savings on to you. So on average, when you shop at Goody Goody, you pay less. Ask about becoming a Bottle Club member for exclusive access to allocated items and discounts on everyday purchases. So visit a Goody Goody or go to goodygoody.com today. Here we go.
Goody Goody's great.
Goody Goody is great.
You know, I cut my teeth at Goody.
You did. You started your alcohol beverage career there.
20 years ago.
Now, here you are on Bourbon Real Talk podcast.
I mean, it led me to, the pinnacle.
Yeah, the pinnacle. No, not true. Okay, so what we're tasting today is from Ironroot Republic Distillery, about 53 minutes north of where I'm at right now.
Is it that far north?
53 minutes. And the reason why I know that is because this distillery is basically what launched this podcast.
Oh.
They were my first interview, and they introduced me to almost everybody else that I interviewed.
Sounds like
in the beginning.
A swell bunch of folks.
They are great, and they even have helped me start the brand Unallocated.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you notice how the bottles are similar?
Yes.
It's because we use their bottles.
Okay.
So they're, and we can talk more about this in a second, but yeah, so we love Ironroot. They introduced me to Nancy Fraley. Nancy knows Fraley was their consultant when they first started. And when I interviewed her, it was actually in their conference room.
Oh, cool.
But they use some interesting techniques here at Ironroot that aren't super popular, that Nancy teaches people. And they are cognac region techniques. So cognac from France, they do things a little bit different there. And one of the things they do is they proof down in barrel. So while the barrels are aging, especially here in Texas, we have tons of evaporative loss. Most of it's water because of big heat temperature swings.
Right.
And it makes the proof spike. And
so they're adding water?
They add water right into the barrel.
You can do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's totally not any violation of any.
No playing going on here.
No. And it's still technically cask strength when you pour it out of the cask.
So is this cask strength, do you think?
Probably not at this proof, but it's possible. When you go there, they have little chalk tick marks to tell them how many times they've added water so they don't proof it down too far. Okay. But whiskey at different proofs is more prone to pull different compounds out of the wood. And so if you've got a whiskey that skyrockets up into the 140s, you're not getting the full use of that barrel. Right. So if you put some water in there, water tends to pull out some more wood sugar notes and things like that, which I think that you can identify here. They also use heirloom grains, so they're not just like Kentucky dent corn. They use a bunch of exotic grains, some of which are super freaking expensive. And what I found interesting is they have kind of a relationship with Alexander Gabriel, who owns Plantation Rum. And Plantation Rum is like the renegade of the rum world.
Okay.
And so this Alexander Gabriel guy, he's originally from Cognac, and he was kind of a rebel there, always pushing the limits, pissing off his fellow cognac makers. And he ended up starting a rum distillery and kind of doing the same thing in rum. And so they have some really interesting products, but they were able to source these rum barrels so that they could do the finishing systems. So yeah, and little backstory on the name Ironroot. It's called Ironroot Republic because, and you probably could speak to this, what's the little nymph? Phloxera?
Phylloxera?
Phylloxera? Yeah. So there's a bug that basically wiped out the French wine world around 1900 because it eats the roots of the plant.
Yeah.
And the person who saved the world of wine was named T.B. Munson, and he is from Denison, Texas.
Oh, really?
And he discovered that the Texas rootstock was impervious to this bug. And so now, except for Chile, all the world's grapes are grown on Texas rootstock. And so as a homage to T.V. Munson, the history of Denison, they named their distillery Ironroot. And they partner with the Cognac region. And they do events where like the mayor of Cognac will come to Denison. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's really cool stuff. So anyway, way too much backstory, but we know them too well not to tell you. All right, so this product is non-age stated. It is 115 proof. The SRP is $61.99. The bottle size is 750 milliliters. So let's smell it up.
And I have been, and I love the nose.
It is enormously large nose.
It's huge.
It's like, this is the everything bagel of whiskey. Like, you could say any tasting note. Like, blood orange?
Maybe.
Blood orange is in there.
I'll find it.
You'll find it. Just keep digging around.
Yeah, it's there now.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much going on.
Yeah, there's I'll tell you what's there's a lot of butter going on.
Lot of butter. Butterscotch, but like,
coffee,
yeah,
butter,
but very buttery. On the nose.
popcorn.
Buttered pop, yes, yeah. Buttered popcorn is, I think, a common nosing note for their whiskey. Let's taste it up. Now, this is a pot still bourbon, so it is way more dense in flavor.
So, would the viscosity change?
It's oily.
It is oily.
Yeah. So the pot still does
Not
not.
what they use a lot in Irish whiskeys, though. No.
Yeah.
That's why the Irish are a little bit more oily.
Yeah, so the fusel oils are not separated from the ethanol as efficiently in a pot still as in a column still. And so this whiskey is very dense. It's just oily.
It's very good. The initial sip, that drinking experience is
Yeah, it's something else.
it's really good.
There is a pleasant, it's not off-putting, but it is dark chocolate and coffee.
Yeah, I get that.
And that is a universal tasting note for pot still bourbons because the grain solids come in contact with the heat source in a pot still, and it caramelizes some of those grain solids, and it produces that roasted,
Yeah, there's a bitterness, and I don't mean to use that word in an off-putting way, but there is a bitterness in the finish, and maybe even like a little bit prior to the finish in the back of the mid palate that I get. I guess a more of a roasted kind of bitterness. I love it.
This is a beautiful marriage of rum finishing and a bourbon.
Yeah,
Because this still tastes like their whiskey.
well, we just had a rum finished cask or bourbon recently that we reviewed, and I don't think that one was. That was the turkey.
Oh, yeah, but that was Jamaican rum. I feel like a lot of times when people do a finishing project, they go too far with imparting the other flavor.
Yeah,
This is very balanced. Because I can taste that there's rum influence, but it still tastes like
it tastes like it. Yeah, I think the fact that it's pot still. Again, there's just the experience of drinking this is pretty exciting.
You know what's
It's
funny?
very interesting.
When they first started releasing whiskeys, a lot of whiskey nerds rejected it because it didn't taste like Kentucky bourbon. But it's not.
Doesn't taste like Kentucky bourbon. That's for damn.
It does not. If you only like Kentucky bourbon and you don't like pot still bourbons, like this is not for you, for sure. But
And I don't want to put this in a way but like I like heavy peated scotches, right? Love them. This has a complexity. Again, it's not that kind of bitterness,
right.
but there is a complexity there with that roasted kind of flavor profile that reminds me almost more, or maybe like some of these Taiwanese whiskeys that are coming out that have a little bit different flavor profile. This is definitely not Kentucky.
Right.
It's really good though.
So how'd you rate it on a 100-point scale?
I'm in like the high 80s, man. Like probably like an 87. Like I really like that, especially for the price point.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'd probably go 88, something like that.
I could get on board with that. It's really good.
Yeah, it is an excellent whiskey at $62. Are you a buy or
All day. I may even buy 2 of them.
I'm a buy at 62.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is a good value, strong proof, great flavor, unique experience.
Every time I've bought a Ironroot product, it's always been at the recommendation of like, one of the guys, a goody gooder. Well, you should try this one or you should try that one. And I've never not liked it.
Well, it's funny. They're a really small distillery and they're basically on allocation because their cash rate stuff is super hard to get a hold of. When we first started working with them, we were doing single barrels and they were happy to work with this. And then it got to the point where they came to us and they were like, hey, are you going to want to do another one? Because we need to know.
Sure.
That's how much demand we have. Yeah, so I'm super proud of them. They've come a long way.
The quality of the product is very good.
But that kind of concludes our review. What do you say we give some whiskey away?
Yeah, I see some in front of me and I was wanting to talk about it. This is the one that I bought that I was stoked about.
Uh-huh.
I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of the label.
Mm-hmm.
It looked a little Addams Family-ish.
Okay, all right, I can see that.
And but
I was thinking Godfather, but yeah.
I mean, I see Addams Family, but I mean, come on. Anyways, but man, I couldn't see this Armagnac finish though. I think so.
Yeah, so they have 2 major brand lines. One is their regular Ironroot products. These are 2 single barrels that I picked at their distillery, and then the other is a different line called Saints Alley.
Yeah.
They partnered with another YouTuber that's actually here local.
Yep.
And he works with them to do this blending project where they take MGP whiskey and they blend it with some of the Texas whiskey.
These are not all.
They're not 100%.
That's part of the giveaway. Or I just
No, we're gonna give some away. And then they do finishing barrels on these as well. So they've got the regular Ironroot, and then they've got the Saints Alley.
Yeah.
And what's the podcast? It's Liquor Hound.
Yeah. He's kind of like an OG guy.
Yeah, Chris is an OG for sure. I was hero worshiping Chris before I recorded my first second of podcast.
Yeah.
So check out Liquor Hound, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna give away a Ironroot sample pack.
Cool.
So we're gonna do 1 ounce of everything that's on the table. Okay.
Unallocated too, or
nah, y'all that's not their whiskey. That's just MGP.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. And so this would be an excellent experience for you to get to know this distillery. 1 ounce pour of everything that's on the table. And how you enter is you need to like this video. You need to subscribe to the channel. You should ring the bell so you're notified when we drop new videos, because there's going to be a giveaway every time. Need you to comment on the video, and if you like it, we'd love it if you'd share. And then in the video description, you're going to click the link. You're going to give me your contact information, and if you win, I'll reach out to you to get your shipping address. But that's not the only way to support the channel. We have Patreon with a lot of great member benefits called Bourbon Real Talk Plus. I have a merch site on bourbonrealtalk.com. We've got a lot of great merch out there. If you're a whiskey lover, you're going to find something you can't live without. And Aaron and I are both in real estate. I am a residential real estate agent, so if you need real estate services in the Dallas or Houston metro areas, you can reach out to me. I give epic bottles as closing gifts. And Aaron, you are a lender.
Lender, yep. Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, Colorado.
Yeah.
So
and rates are starting to improve. So if you are looking for a home loan in Texas, Florida, Colorado, or Oklahoma, you can reach out to Aaron. And as always, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers, man. You know what's funny?
What's that?
We just changed the music. We got a new thing. It's like